Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? It's Classic Morning in the building. And yeah, we're doing something a little different today, right? I'm excited to share with y'all. I went on a book tour. I went to a book tour in Dallas. Well, let me preface, not a book tour, but I went to multiple bookstores on a book tour thing, right? So it's not like I was just out here like going crazy or nothing like that, But like I ain't writing no book, you feel me? But what I did do is I bought a whole bunch of books, you feel me? I was playing. So I was down in Dallas with my boy Henry, and he was like, "Hey, bro, you trying to go run some bookstores with me?" I said, "Bro, absolutely, bro. I'm down, bro. What we doing? Let's get into it. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, bro. I'm here for it, bro. Let's make it happen, bro." So we did. And I picked up some stuff. Now, I don't unfortunately remember the bookstores that I went to except for one because they labeled themselves on the book. And so I will reach out to Henry and I will get the name of the bookstores and I will put the books that I got from which store in the description so that if anybody goes to Dallas, if anybody lives in Dallas, you guys can check out and support these local bookstores because they were all really dope. Now, I will say I'll try to keep them in the order of where I got them from, but it's all over the place. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, first and foremost, we got a movie. We got a movie, because why not start off a book tour, a book hop, whatever it's called. I think it was a book hop, because it's like bar hop, but book hop, whatever the hop, with a movie. So this is a dual disc movie. It is St. Elmo's Fire, and it is About Last Night. Now, some people might know Kevin Hart came out with a remake of About Last Night with some of his own actors in it. He was in it, and it was funny. It's a spin from this movie right here. So these are both romantic comedies, or rom-coms for short. I love me a good rom-com. These are throwbacks, 70s, 80s vibes. Me and my cousin Courtney, she know about them. We be talking about them. So I'm super excited. There's two of them in here. Ooh, what's that? You thought I went to a bookstore? You thought I was going to do a video and not talk about Pokemon? Like, come on, they're upside down. Pokemon? I'm just playing. So at the same bookstore, they said, "Hey, we got Pokemon cards in the back, bro. We got a whole box of book." And I said, "Hey, bro, you don't know that I just started a new hobby, bro. And I ain't about those all the full chases, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with just a cool looking card." So my Lotic, which is one of my favorite water Pokemon, y'all thought this was just gonna be about books. I ain't up talking about Pokemon. And then Zorora, a cool lightning type, fire. Oh my gosh, electric type. I'm tripping. But I got those at the same place I got this. So at the bookstore that I went to, a local bookstore, I got 0 books. And I got a movie and Pokemon cards. Don't judge me, leave me alone. Amen and amen. We'll leave that there. But that was the only pickup I had from that bookstore, which name will be in the comments with, again, everything that I got from that bookstore. Next, we are going to go to, boom, Beast of Prey at one of the bookstores. And this was actually a non-for-profit that was outside of the bookstore we went into. So I went into the store, saw a couple things, actually saw a book I really wanted, but it was too expensive, so I didn't get it. But I put it on my book list, on my Goodreads list to get. But this Beast of Prey is written by Ayanna Gray. She's a African-American woman who writes well. This is a fantasy book. I haven't read much into this yet, but it has a really cool map in the front. We love cool maps. This one is about Likosa, was a city of magic and splendor. Now 100 years after the rupture scarred the sky and devastated the land and its people, magic is no more than a myth until one night when Coffee, an indentured beastkeeper at an infamous night zoo, unexpectedly unleashes a dangerous, untamed power that has been secretly brewing within her for years. And I was pretty much sold after that. So I will be checking this out as soon as I'm done with another one of the books, which we'll get to in a second. Next is Sakamoto Days. Now, I honestly don't remember where I got this book from. I don't remember, and I don't think there's a receipt attached to it, so I don't remember. This is a manga. There's a show on Netflix called Sakamoto Days. This is what it's based off of. The show is based off of. This is an assassin who who works now as a grocery store or a 7-Eleven equivalent gas station type convenience store. And it just talks about the shenanigans that him and his partner get into. And it's pretty cool. I want y'all to know this is what a manga looks like inside. So just like a comic book, boom, 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 boom. Except I'm actually going the wrong way because mangas read not like this, but like this, which is different. But I'm gonna try to find out where I got that one from because I really like that one. Now the rest of my books, and I'll do a quick honorable mention. Shout out to Jada Dorsey, who wrote this book, Live. She's coming out with a second book, which is why this is coming up, because I need to read this so that I can get to the second book. I'm only one chapter in, and I'm going to have to reread that chapter. I apologize, Jada. I'm going to have to reread that chapter because I don't remember what happened. But reread that. Well, I kind of remember a little bit, maybe. But reread that so I can finish this book so I can go ahead and get her next one. This is Christian fantasy, which is kind of dope. For those who don't know, you should know by this time on my channel. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. I think he's an amazing, amazing person who walked this earth, who died for our sins, and wants us to find him and have a relationship with him so that we can live with him eternally in Jesus' name. But it's fantasy, which is up my alley for books. Same with the Beast of Prey book, fantasy. But I'm excited for this. This is an honorable mention. This came from St. Louis. She's a local author. I did not get this in Dallas. But I will put her stuff in the description too, so you can see if you want to get this book as well. I'll give you a brief synopsis. The nation of Zoe is on the brink of civil war, but this is no concern for Lorelai, main person who is a spy who wields seduction and thievery to get information. But after a mission goes sideways, she is betrayed and executed by Zoe's leader. God offers Lorelai a second chance at life in exchange for one last mission: save the nation that killed her. So we got redemption, we got action, we got spy, we got espionage, we got fantasy, we got whatever it is, I'm here for it. So this is tough. It's called Live by Jada Dorsey. Honorable mention. Now, the rest of these books came from we have one of these stores in St. Louis, Missouri. It is called Half Priced Books. And just like the name implies, you get these books at half the price. And they have everything, right? Now, the majority of the books that I have are going to be more around the work that I do. I am a licensed professional therapist, and some of these books tie into that, which I'm really excited about to share with you all too. But not the first one. The first one's a manhwa. Manhwa, different from a manga, a manhwa is Korean based. Manga, Japanese. So this, as you can see, differs in a couple ways. It opens like a normal Western book, left, open it left, whatever. And also the pages are color. So similar in comic form, standard American comic, but it's in color, different from a manga, which is in black and white. But I'm excited about this. I know nothing about this. The other manhwa that I have is called Solo Leveling, similar to the anime called Solo Leveling. There's only a couple differences, but it's the same story. I don't think there's an anime for this, but I'm gonna check this one out, and if I like it, I'm gonna start getting the other books for it. This is the first book, so I'm excited to give that a read. Again, half price books. Next one, oh my. This is one of the most exciting, I've never been more excited for a book ever than this one right here, called This Is How You Heal by Brianna Weist. I am so excited for this book. Healing is not I'm gonna read the back of this one. I'm gonna take my time. Healing is not a one-time event. It can begin with a one-time event, typically some form of sudden loss that disrupts our projection of what the future might be. However, the true work of healing allows the disruption to wake us from a deep state of unconsciousness, release the personas we adapted into, and begin consciously piecing together the full truth of who we are meant to be. This is a follow-up from one of her international bestsellers. It says 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. In this book, she shares over 45 new pieces that will help you find your inner sanctum and embark on the path of true transformation. Wise words are a balm for any soul on the journey of their own becoming. And I just want to give y'all like just some of the she has them, yeah. These are some of the different chapters. When you're ready, this is how you heal. When you're ready to change your life, read this. This year, let go of the people who aren't ready to love you. The greatest healing often happens in the most ordinary ways. 7 psychological biases that are making you resist your own growth. This is how you find the confidence to pursue what you really love. Read this if you're on the brink of a breakthrough, but afraid to take that leap. 16 ways emotionally intelligent people interpret negative feelings differently. 13 things you need to stop doing if you want to truly move forward in life. And that's only the beginning. There's so much more. Read this while you're waiting for the storm in your life to pass, because this could be the moment that changes everything for you. I am so excited to read this book for me. Man, I'm so excited to read this for me. I might have to put down my other book and just start reading this on at the same time. You feel me? I'm normally a reader who just focuses on one book, but these chapters seem like they're pretty short. They seem like they're pretty short. Yeah, they're really short actually. So I might just simultaneously. This might be the first time. I know readers probably do that a lot. They alternate between books and stuff like that. I ain't got it like that. I'm a new reader. To give y'all context, I finished my first book on and off after maybe like 4 or 5 years. And then I just finished the Shadow and Bone series, all 3 books. And that took me, the first book took me like a year and a half. The second book took me like 2 months. The third book took me like 8 months, 7-8 months. But I finished. But yeah, I'm excited. So this is How You Heal by Brianna Weiss. This was not one that I got. Oh my gosh, I went out of order. I did not get this at Half Price Books. I remember where I was, but I do not remember. It was an art district, but I do not remember where I got this from. So I'll make sure to put that down because, man, this was great. And I'm really excited to read this one. Next, we have, going back to Half Price Books, Cards Against Anxiety. Now, different from Cards Against Humanity, which I'm sure that you're trying to use a play on for that. This is really just some helpful tools to challenge your anxiety, work through anxiety. And then it has all the cards in a workbook form. Worry date, stand up straight, different things like that. The big squeeze. And then it has some cards here that are just helpful things like water. And it says, let the calmness flow in and the anxiety flow out. As you slowly drink cold water, focus on the feeling as it passes down your throat can distract your mind from worry. So just ways to kind of walk through and handle that anxiety. We got thanks. I'm thankful to this person. I'm thankful for this place. I'm thankful for this experience. I'm thankful for this mistake. We have bliss out. Bliss out. If things are tough, think of a time when you felt happy and free. Research shows that you can boost your mood by reflecting on a positive memory. What's your favorite bliss moment? So we got stuff like that. My next one is the one I'm currently reading. Martha Beck, Beyond Anxiety. Now, y'all remember earlier where I was talking about there was a book that I really, really wanted, but that mug was expensive. Guess where I found it? Half Price Books for half the price. And then I bought it. But I'm excited about this one. This is written by Martha Beck, who is not related to Aaron Beck, who is the founder of cognitive behavioral therapy. Initially, I was like, are they related? No. She is a sociologist. And I'm beginning to read this book. This is the primary book I'm reading right now. I'm almost halfway through with this read. It's really, really good. It gives like different perspective. Like, for example, she uses this analogy called KIST, K-I-S-T. And it talks for kind internal self-talk. And she kind of used it as used a tenet from this Tibetan monk. And they have their own kind of kind internal self-talk that is like, may I find joy, may I find peace, may I find hope, may I find whatever it is that they're looking for. And that way, it takes them out of that negative internal dialogue, that negative internal self-talk, and it puts them into a forward mindset that's also trying to gravitate toward gratitude, appreciation, things of that nature. And she said this Tibetan monk who used this technique was also somebody who was ridden with panic attacks. And she also, Martha Beck, talks about her own perspective in dealing with anxiety and uses her own experiences as well as research and what she's found while she's researched the topic of anxiety and how to approach it. From her perspective, she ran into a lot of individuals who said they did all these things and they were still struggling with anxiety. They tried the challenging the thoughts, they tried the reframing, they tried the cognitive restructuring. And even though there's some base tenets, in my opinion, that are still in this book, she uses a different framework for presenting them, which I think presents people with different access. And that's my opinion. So that's another good read. The other two are workbooks that I also got from Half Price Books. One is the Anxiety Phobia workbook, the Anxiety Phobia workbook. I have not touched this, but I just thought it looked interesting. Just working on my craft, just sharpening tools. Self-esteem is in here, anxiety's in here, different phobias are in here. Looks like muscle relaxation's in here, which is one of like grounding technique. So I'm very curious to get into this one as well. Honestly, I'm very excited. For those who don't know, I work not just for myself, but I work at a high school, middle school, elementary school, all in one, preschool. I don't work with the preschoolers, but I work with the kindergarten through 12th grade. And one thing I'm learning as I'm working more in this field independently, contractually, is I don't know everything. I never came into the mindset that I knew everything, but you can get comfortable with what you're familiar with. And when you get out of that comfort zone, when you start dealing with things that are different from what you're used to, it causes you to have to grow and to expand. And so I never want to stay stagnant. I always want to grow, I always want to expand. So while got all these books that I'm working on, I'm also working on a certification for ADHD. I'm also following up on more training on cognitive behavioral therapy, acceptance commitment therapy, as well as dialectical behavioral therapy. Do stuff with couples counseling. I want to do more with family counseling. And I'm really excited to just continue to grow the craft, continue to grow my profession, my tools, sharpen its sword, to be better to service the people that I work with. Lastly is a cognitive behavioral workbook for depression. I was really, there was a lot of focus on anxiety, and in the books that I've got, there was a lot of focus. I think in general, anxiety is more accessible. I don't know if accessible is the right word, but I think that it's talked about a lot more than depression is in terms of just like solutions. You hear anxiety coupled with like ADHD or OCD. You hear it coupled with just like extreme worry or thoughts, all that kind of stuff. Depression is kind of sometimes harder to grasp. Anxiety and depression, they hang out together often. What I mean by that is anxiety sometimes can bring along depression. Depression can sometimes bring along anxiety in different ways. They're still kind of treated differently in terms of the actual treatment for them. Sometimes the treatment can be different. And I just want to make sure I'm not just focusing on just anxiety. I really did want to also sharpen my tool belt when it comes to just helping people navigate depression. So those are my books. That is the book crawl. It was a book crawl, not a book tour or a book hop. It was a book crawl. Oh my gosh. That came to me at the end of the episode. Crazy work. End of the video. Crazy work. But I appreciate y'all for all those who stayed to the end. Make sure to share, subscribe, like, subscribe, share. I don't know. Comment and say what you enjoyed, say what you didn't. I don't really care. Actually, I do care because I said it. But yeah, like, subscribe, share, comment. I hope y'all enjoyed. I might get some updates on some of these books. I might not. Especially the one that I might do a whole video. After I read this, I might do a whole video on This Is How You Heal. I might be really excited about that. So be on the lookout for some videos around books. Still the videos around anime, still the videos around Pokemon, still the videos around just overall living life, having fun. Check out my shorts. I got a lot of funny stuff on there, a lot of laughs. Check out my long forms. I started my Pokemon playlist, so that's all there. And then I will work on other playlists too as I'm building this catalog. I have goals. I want to reach 200 subscribers by July. I'm going to DreamCon And that's always something that motivates me and drives me in terms of content, but I don't want that to start after con like it normally does. I want to just continue before. And now that I have the freedom being my own boss, I want to just make sure I'm continuing to work on the stuff I said I wanted to work on, like content. I enjoy this. I like doing this. I'm gonna enjoy editing this video. So be on the lookout for more content coming from me as I reach these goals, man. 200 is by July, and then I'm making the lofty goal of 500 by the end of the year. So a Christmas present to myself is just going to be whatever the subscriber number is. My hope is, and my goal is 500, but I'm not going to be upset if it's not. And it's just to continue to push out content and be consistent. So my goal, I'm going to say it here, is to put out at least 2 long form videos a month, 3 if I get to it, and to put out 2 or 3 shorts a week. I think that's something I can lock in on and do for sure. So love y'all, appreciate y'all. Stay blessed, stay well, stay healthy, stay safe. I'm praying for people I know and don't know. Y'all be out here in these streets, but safe in these streets. And, live long and prosper.